And welcome back to my Outerloper run. I did a bunch of stuff off camera, which involved coming in here, dropping down the maple, did some other bits and pieces, dropped some other stuff, I can't even remember, dropped a little bit of dog food. I'm mainly about giving up weight, dropped some firewood as well. And I did also sleep through the night, because when we got in here it was the end of the night, and it was also blizzarding just after I got here, and it's first thing in the morning. It is kind of cold out here, but one thing I thought I should probably try and do before I go to the Skeg, I want to see if I can duck over to that little burnt out hut and see if I can find a cast iron pot there, because I've only got a can, and you know, we're going to get cold in getting there and back really quickly, but it's a sort of a short journey. It can be a little bit, you know, wolfy, so I want to be careful of that, but I just think getting by with the one can, no can openers to end up with a nice fresh can to use on a fire. You know, if there is a pot there, I think it will be a great thing to have, especially when we do our forging. Only being able to make half a litre of water at a time, it ends up being a little bit wasteful of our fires. And so it's probably still too cold to just get to the travel to the Skeg now. In a few hours time it will be much better, but if we can use this time to just try and duck over here, and if we can get a clear run at it without being accosted by any of the wildlife, then that would be great.
My feet.
So I do still have plans of also continuing with my other Interloper run. I didn't just abandon it, just that, you know, doing the Outerloper run, people seem to be enjoying it. A lot of views, well, comparatively for me, a lot of views, and just sort of seemed like
Up soon.
I should keep going on this for the time being, and I'll jump back to the Interloper run at a certain point and just try and do, you know, one episode a week. But we won't necessarily continue much longer with that one anyway, just until we get a few more things done. And there was a wolf just up there. I did glance up and see him over by the track still, so we'll have to try and be careful when we try and go to Muskeg. Trying to keep my eyes peeled. I think one of my very early Voyager runs playing this game got ended around here, so I'm probably a little bit paranoid. Mind you, I was probably carrying around half a deer or something. Ah, yes! And an extra can. Yep, that was worth coming. I mean, if this was a regular Interloper run, I probably wouldn't care so much. You'd find so many pots and so many cans, but you know, when you don't get to go indoors in Outerloper, you miss so many of those. I think it is one of the things that is appealing about doing an Outerloper run. If you've played a reasonable amount of Interloper and you're comfortable with doing it, it's sort of fun to have a little bit of an extra challenge, and you know, by cutting out the indoors you're removing a whole bunch of the loot, and you're also making it, you know, harsher with surviving the elements. Some maps are decidedly harder than others. I think, especially without a bedroll. So I mean, most of them without a bedroll can be pretty difficult. I think Coastal Highway is a pretty hard one, and Desolation Point would probably also be super difficult. You've only really got maybe a couple of cars that you can sleep in. And cars are pretty deadly. You know, you're not going to stay warm for very, very long. Now, I was going to go back and just get inside that cave to warm up. I mean, it is minus 22 feeling here, so I probably should. I might just sprint a little to do that. I was considering starting a fire, warming up by that, and then going to fall on muskeg, but I just think that's a bit too much. So what we'll probably do is just jump inside the cave and maybe just sleep for 1 or 2 hours just to warm up. Bit of backtracking, I know. Sorry to do it to you. So I've also been following Loon's Loon playing his Sleepwalker run, and that's actually, if you haven't been watching that, I suggest you check out Loon's Loon. And his Sleepwalker run is going quite well. Sleepwalker's where you take off this sort of condition recovery at night and only have the minimal ambient recovery, so sleeping doesn't really bring you back, you know, any recovery at all. I tend to agree that the condition recovery in the game could be tuned a lot harder for, you know, or another style of gameplay. Okay, we'll just jump in here and we'll sleep for 2 hours just to warm up mostly. It's close to the middle of the day, and
Man, I could eat anything.
much warmer. I mean, it might still be a little bit terrible in the out of the wind shade. Yeah, it's still kind of rough, but as long as it doesn't turn on us, we should be right to get across Fall on Muskeg. So a couple of the other people I follow and that follow me also playing along in the game. So Turkey Steam is going with his Outerloper run. Let's try saying that again. Turkey Steam is with his Outerloper run, and he's having a slightly harder time of it. He's doing pretty good, but last I saw he did not have a bedroll yet. He also still didn't have gloves, which I luckily picked up last episode. And the bedroll thing, though, man, that's a tough gig. He's made it really well so far without, but I hope he finds one soon. And another new follow of mine, and as in someone I started following, who's also coincidentally been following me, is, I think it's Grumpy Guy Gaming, and I think he's fairly new to doing Interlooper. He's doing an Interlooper noob. What's that? Noob on the loose or something run. And oh, there's our wolf. I don't want to get too. Let's hold that thought about the other streamers while I just consider my options with getting around this wolf. just slowly following him while crouching. Crouching lets you get a lot closer, makes you less visible to the wolves. Doesn't, not sure how much it benefits you when you actually got stink on you, but it like they'd smell you and still come towards you and then get close and see you, but definitely lets us keep moving without attracting too much of his attention. Now the tricky thing is he's gone just behind that rise, so I'm not sure what his pathing does if he loops close to where we are here, or if he goes the other way, so
Fingers are numb.
always a little bit of a risk coming over these little blind hills. Yeah, we still don't know where he is. Definitely should be behind all that wood, I'm assuming. Yeah, just the other side of all the train car stuff. I mean, we could probably get up now and beat him into the tunnel, but... Hey, Mr. Wolf. Sprained wrist. That's always fun in these situations. Tend to get that creeping around on hills while having the gun out. Alright. Now we will take a tea on the other side of this, that's for sure. We're also going to need to warm up shortly. Now how many teas do I have? 2, so yeah. Fine to drink one. We've got plenty we can make up. So many prepared rose hips, it's not funny. Now I might need to warm up in that purchase camp rail car. We could make it across, but we'd just take an absolute beating on condition. We'd be no margin for error. I mean, even now I should probably warm up, but the rail car's just a much more convenient position for that. Fine to just sprint a little bit, get there a little bit quicker. I think I hear the wolves off to the right, down in that far right corner of the map. Alright, Skeg, what are you doing to me? Yeah, still pretty cold with that wind. Ugh. So much glare coming off the snow as well. Now we've been wearing our hacksaw a bit thin, and mainly because we don't have any other tools to really use, but there should be a hacksaw on this map in one of several places, and I think we should try and find that, because just having one fairly average one is not going to do us any favours. As much trying to grab this scrap as I am looking for better loot. There's a friendly neighbourhood wolf, or unfriendly neighbourhood wolf. Oh, 3 scrap. That is amazing. Right there. That's 6 arrows. Alright, we are taking a beating with the cold. Oh, excellent. Hello. Thank you. So much scrap. Oh, a piece of cloth. Oh,
This pack is getting kind of
I
heavy.
don't think I've ever been so happy to find just the minimal amount of stuff that I did in here. We won't use the book. I think it is a little bit of the joy of playing some of the harder self-challenge modes, is just that rediscovery of, you know, a little bit of the joy of just finding things again in the game
Oh yeah. That's good.
and having it be valuable. Alright, let's just do a liter on that. Use our new pot. I think we might cook up. We'll do another rose hips anyway. We don't have enough water. So how about we just do half a litre of water and you then? We got an hour on this. Okay, let's just leave that. Nothing else we can tear down. We did a bunch of that last night. And nothing really we can do. Let's have a quick look at. We've got 3 whole pieces of cloth now because we just got that other one. 10 pieces, so that's basically our tools and maybe 10 arrows. We have a hat we can tear down as well, but we'll wait till we kind of really need to do that maybe. Actually, how long does that take? 10 minutes. I'm going to tear down that hat. I usually like to keep a spare hat, or several, but in this mode I'd rather have the extra cloth, so now we should have 4 pieces. I'm just checking that I'm right about our tools. Need 1 piece of cloth and 1 piece of cloth. Oh, actually that takes 5. I thought that took I took it 3 and 2. I was actually the wrong way around. It's 5 and 3. So we only just have our regular tools and we only have 4 arrows we can make then. So we definitely need to get a lot more. There's probably many of you screaming along at home, trying to tell me that I was wrong with my math. It's a good thing we checked. Gonna cook. Quickly cook one more reishi. Gonna drink one to help with our warmth. What's going on with that weather? Looks like it wants to blizzard. I think I'm going to try and race it. Let's see if I can do it. Don't think this is really worth trying to take a... No, I don't think it's really worth it all. Okay. Now we're a bit heavy. Can we drop anything useful? How much overweight are we? 1/2 kilogram. What have we got that we can drop? Let's just get on with it for now. Alright, don't use all your sprint when you need to get across ice. Note to self. I'd love to stop and get some more cattails, but I think I really need to race this weather. to try and get them on the way back. You a maple over there? You do look like a maple over there. Have a think about that on the way back as well. That's if we come this way. We might go out via Milton. I'm not sure.
Damn it. I'm so hungry.
So we really want to get to the farm before this turns into a fully fledged blizzard. So let's just get heavier, hey? We'll, just because I want that for adding to the temperature of the forge.
I wonder if I can drop any of this gear.
Alright. That's all I'm going to grab. So that drink we had is really making a big difference, I think. A warming up bonus. We are not losing temperature anywhere near as quickly as we should be. We are going mightily slow though. Hello, Mr. Wolf out there. Nothing to see here. Okay, I'm being a little bit ridiculous now, but just only have the one maple on the go. And it was pretty much right in our path. Could have just as easily gone across those other little patches of snow. There's another wolf just ahead of us out there. So hopefully if you guys are in those two spots, no, that is the wolf. It means you're not home at the farm. You're reasonably close to us right now. Extra piece, that's great. No green canister. I see another feather. No. Alright. So far the weather was kind to us when trying to cross that. You know, didn't blizzard on us yet. We didn't lose temperature. I hear them all howling around, but I'm finding it hard to get a good clear take on where they are. Oh, we're going to be so heavy. T-shirt.
Nobody needs this anymore.
Oh, decent wool sweater. New piece of metal there for me? You don't live on the other side or something? Okay. Alright, let's just drop so much stuff. Well, do we ever have a lot of coal? Just having a quick scout around. Not too wet or cold yet. There's another piece here. We've got that book. Down vest.
This will come in handy.
You will be cloth. You will become cloth for sure. Let me just put you somewhere I'll see you. I'll come back and do all this. Okay, so there's the hacksaw and it is 86%, so that's awesome. Not really wanting to do all the looting just yet. What else can I drop? I can drop probably all of you. That was 13 pieces. Don't believe there's a wolf just hanging around over there. Now the weather's really about to come in, I think. Alright. So I know the hacksaw is not over here because we saw it on the bench, but it's one of the places that's really worth checking for it because it can often live just down in here, I think. But there can also be some other minor goodies lying around. Mostly interested in scrap metal. We can tear down that shelf underneath if we want, but I prefer to try and do it with just all the found stuff. If I can. Doesn't really look like there's much lying around. I think this was a little bit of a waste. I think we've probably found all the loose lying pieces of scrap metal we're going to find. Probably should have been picking up more sticks out here while we were doing all this. Now we're cold. Alright. Oh, we're actually slightly warming up in here. Maybe get a little bit of a free hour? Free 2 hours, maybe. Let's try free 1 hour first and see if we warm up enough. Still warm. Go for another sneaky 2 hours. It's going to come in cold now, but great. So we're still mostly warm.
Man, all I can think about is food.
Grab that. We'll grab that while I remember it. Oh, cloth is so valuable. We might be able to repair some of our clothes. More work gloves. 2 episodes in a row. Hey, found your gloves, Turkey. They were right here. Can opener. Hello. Now we can eat some of our canned food.
Shouldn't carry much more.
We are still warm. Going down slightly now, but can we break this down in 45 minutes without getting cold? Yes, we can. Alright.
I will die if I don't get food soon.
That was about 30-ish or something. $32. Ah, 32.6.
It's getting dark out here. Time to look for shelter.
What do we got? What do we got? Oh, yes. Oh, that makes me very, very happy. Boots. So, is it slightly warmer up here than it is down there? Oh, and they're in pretty good nick too. So now, we've got some gloves we can tear down, some boots we can tear down to repair our other boots. We've got 2 crappy down vests that we can tear down for more cloth, and we have 5 pieces of cloth. This is awesome. Alright, so I think it's now time to really kick this off.
Come on, little fire. Come on.
Come on. Just let me put stuff in here. Sure, why not? Yeah. Cedar can go on there too. So we'll put on maybe just a leader to begin with, while we wait for that. And we might actually maybe we'll sleep for an hour, just actually. What can I do that this thing's repair takes an hour? That's not really what I want to do. We might do some harvesting, just so we can put the coal on. Right, so we're going to try and trade in these two on our Mackinaw at some point. Should probably put a couple more in to get to temperature. I think that's about as high as it can normally go before you add the coal. I think we're going to need to add one more, but I'll wait. Let's just get us to about 120 something. We need to get to 150. Okay, so one more piece of coal. Alright, potable water in 20 more minutes. Let us just harvest this other one. Okay. So, if I do 2 liters, that'll take us 2 hours. How long does that take? That takes 4 hours. This takes 3 hours. Yeah. You know what? We won't do that just yet.
This pack is getting kind of heavy.
How much water do we have? We got 1.29 liters. Let's just go for the knife first. Knife done. I'm actually going to eat a couple of these, just for ambient condition recovery, I think, while we try the next bit. 9 hours on that. Alright.
Horse.
Okay, so we got our main tools. What should we make there? Let's just forget about that. Alright, so there's we got about 2 hours. Make some more arrows. We're getting pretty exhausted, so we're going to need to make sure we're leaving ourselves enough time just to get a bit of rest before we try and take off out of here. Got one more piece of scrap metal left, it reckons. Absolutely. Left on that. Okay, so I think we're completely out of the easy scrap metal that's lying around. We should have 10 arrows. 10 arrows. Got those. I'm actually going to just leave the hammer here for sure. Actually, 2 hours left on that. Add one more piece of coal. I've got so much coal here. Actually, I'm going to pick up 4 or 5. Take some more with me. But I'm going to drop a piece of coal in. Yeah, we'll leave that there. I'm just going to try and get maybe 2 hours sleep. Oh, the weather is great though, but I am exhausted. I won't get very far. How long was on that? There was many hours on that. 3 hours. Let's try 3 hours sleep. Hang on. Make sure we eat. Should have really made up a tea. Would get better sleep. Hang on. It's not really using my brain today. Drink that. Still 3 hours. Just the tea should make us get, you know, a little bit better rested. The weather sounds like it's coming in, but we'll see what that's really like when we get up. It's just foggy. We might be able to deal with foggy. And drop
Starving.
2.5 liters here. Now, how long left on here? 26 minutes. Just gonna add a piece of reclaimed for the moment. And a couple of sticks. How long do you take to harvest? 1 hour and 15. And how long did I say I had? Not quite long enough. Just hoping that fog clears just a little bit, but also I'm trying to drop some of the weight because we are well over what I want to be. Minutes.
I'm getting weak.
I think what we should actually do is eat one of these dog foods. Drop a little bit of weight. Christen our new can opener. Stop her complaining at us that she's hungry. Now what else can I drop? We have 2 of these hacksaws. Do I just leave the worst hacksaw here? Now, we would be underweight if we weren't so exhausted. But I think we're going to try and make a break for it. Now, probably just going to go back to Mystery Lake. Mainly because what I want to do is go back to the cave near Trappers and bring all of my stuff through, and I think I'm going to try and craft at the farm at Milton. And so I think I'll just try and bring all my stuff through to the camp office, not the camp office, the climbing office in Milton, and finish it curing there and just make day trips down to the farm to try and build my stuff. And after that I'll loop back through Milton Basin, back through Hat Creek River, loop all the way back through Mystery Lake again, and we'll head out into the bigger, wide open world. And that's my plan, at least today. At least what I'm thinking. Inventory check that we got all our stuff, yes. I think I prefer to go to this side. Could have stayed another night in the farm, but just ended up being a bit of a fuel sink. If we ever needed to come back, like, we would have to bring so much more fuel to forge again or stay again. I really wish we had some coffee, would have been a great thing around about now. Alright, lonely cattail. There's a couple of them. Reasonably close just there. There's 3 wolves. It's like 1, 2, and 3 just over there in the fog. Not sure if that'll come through in the compression or not. Again. No, I think I should just stick to the way I know. I'm getting stuck going that way and having to double back anyway. Just ducking because that wolf is reasonably close. I don't want to be disturbed while doing this. I'll tell you what, we are going to be super exhausted when the time we get back to our little cave. We could always try and duck to the cave on this map. There's one over there, but there's also one kind of behind the poacher's camp. A little bit of a wolf and a bear situation to contend with if we try that. But I need to get back to Trappers anyway to pick up our gear and try and take all that to Milton. like we're going so slowly because we're encumbered and so exhausted. Yeah, actually, if it's warm in this rail car, what we might do is stop and sleep for a couple of hours. Check what the weather is doing to us when we wake up. We might still have enough light and energy to get to where we need to go. Yeah. I think that's what we'll do. We'll come into this rail car. It's actually warm out, so we should be able to sleep at least for an hour to create that save point.
I'll eat anything right now.
And maybe we'll call that an episode and pick it up on the other side. Because I really don't want to have to put you guys through watching me very, very slowly walk all the way back to Trappers. Come on. Alright. So it's 3 degrees in here. We don't even need a fire. Just gonna plonk this down, eat one of the cattails, and sleep for 1 hour, and this will be our episode. So see you next episode.